Hi guys, what's up? So, I know I've been a little absent since my Grateful to Be Alive video, but a lot has changed. A lot. One of which being, I got a new skull. And I just want to talk to you guys about that and tell you what it was like to go through that, because not many people have gone through something that crazy. For one, I was able to get a new skull.
Bye. You're gonna have a skull. Love you. Good luck. You're gonna do great.
Just like that alone is amazing. And I don't have to wear a helmet for the rest of my life, because that was a big fear of mine. But I got scheduled on December 11th to get my surgery on December 19th of 2019. And I got super excited. I was like, oh my gosh, I get it before the holidays, for the new year, and like I can go into 2020 starting off right.
And I'm really nervous. Brandon's excited.
He's so excited. I'm so excited. That's amazing.
And that's exactly what happened. But I was also super anxious, but I hid it a lot. I was like, everyone's like, oh, are you excited? I'm like, yeah, I'm so excited. But I was really, really anxious because I'm going through another brain surgery. I'm going into that state again, getting more anesthesia put into me. But it went great. Everything was perfect until after my surgery, when I was in so much pain.
Now you can see yourself. Open your eyes and smile.
It hurts to smile.
It does.
I ended up having to stay an extra day in the hospital because like my swelling got so bad. I made TikToks about it. There's like one side of my face was perfectly fine, but the other side was just totally destroyed and swollen. Like to a point where my eye was completely shut because I just sat there, couldn't really move. My mom wouldn't let me get up and walk around yet because I know I just had a fresh brain surgery and I still had a brain drain in. It was basically just like this tube right here, and it went like a little cord into my brain that would prevent like any fluid buildup more than it was. So the brain drain, when it got taken out, was absolutely the most painful thing I've ever experienced in my entire life. So they wanted to inject me with lidocaine, which is basically a thing they use at a dentist to like numb your mouth, but they did it with like a 2mm wide needle and stuck that into my head. I was scream crying. Like the most insane pain I've ever felt in my entire life, and that was just to numb me. Well, plot twist, it didn't numb me at all. And I was just sitting there as they started to suture up my head with a very thick and curved hook needle. I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but it was awful. But I mean, it worked. And after that, I was still in a lot of pain, but it got better. So I went home that day, and that night anyway, and everything was great. I was really happy to be home. I was happy to be in that position to be home so soon. It was 3 days after another brain surgery, and I was just like, okay, we're good. Little did I know, the next day, it was December 22nd. I woke up because I had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. So I get up, go to the bathroom. As I'm washing my hands, I get this like sudden rush of pain, and I like almost collapsed. Just started scream crying again to my mom. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I just have this, like, I can't even describe the pain. It's ridiculous. My mom like gets up, walks me back to my room, and I laid down, and what felt like 2 years. It was only 20 minutes, but I was in so much pain. My mom just sat there. She ended up sleeping on the floor, bless her whole heart, because she was like worried it was gonna happen again. I got over it. My mom gave me medicine, and I went back to sleep, and everything was fine. And then she woke me up the next morning with my favorite bagel, and I was like, my whole heart just felt, I was so happy. There's also a level of insecurity that I got when my head was so swollen. Obviously, you wake up every morning and you look in the mirror, and that's not what you're used to seeing for the past 18 years of your life. And so it's weird, because at first I didn't have a skull, so my head was like totally caved in. But then you wake up one morning and you have a skull, but it's way bigger than you expected because it was so swollen. And there's a level of insecurity that comes with that. And I managed to get through it with the fact of, I took into account that it's temporary. A lot of things are temporary. My mom is finally allowing me to go out and do things on my own again, because I used to have need to have someone with me when I had a helmet on, because I literally, like I said, one fall around that time could have killed me. And ever since then, it's just been onward and upward. I got my sutures out, which is I had 88 sutures put into my head after my cranioplasty, which is when they put the new skull in. And I got those out on January 16th, which was really cool and kind of painful, but it felt weird because they were all like intertwined together. Another thing I want to talk about after that is I was still in a very acute stage of recovery. The thing about TBIs though, traumatic brain injuries, if you guys don't know, it's a hidden injury. It's nothing compared to like a broken arm or a broken leg where people can visibly see that you're not well. Like with the beanie on right now, you guys probably would never be able to tell that I have a fake skull in my head. Like that's the level of seriousness this is. But it's okay, because I know the precautions that I need to take. My family knows the precautions I need to take to not get re-injured, because the chance of re-injury after TBI is so high. TBIs end up lasting years, maybe even decades to recover fully from, if ever. Some of you might remember back in the I'm Grateful to Be Alive video, I said that I'm the same person I was, with the exact hand motion actually. I'm the same person I was, except now I have a lot different perspective on life. And I have this whole new understanding of how precious life is, because we're not all guaranteed the same thing. And as time went on, I was able to realize like, I'm not the same person I was at all. I mean, there's obviously still parts of me that are the same, like my love for photography and videography, like that, nothing like that changed. Like passions are all there still. But I first thought, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm totally fine, like everything's fine. But as time went on throughout my recovery, I was able to look at it from an outside perspective and say like, wow, like you're really lucky. Like you're really, really lucky. And I was able to realize the three things I was before my accident. I was arrogant, I was ignorant, and I thought I was invincible. But life has a really, really good way of being like, psych, no you're not, and slamming your head into concrete. But that realization gave me the strength to swallow my pride and allow myself to be vulnerable and realize that that wasn't the person who I wanted to be. Now I realize that I'm not those things anymore. I'm grateful, I'm vulnerable, and I'm resilient, in my opinions anyway. But I'm also super happy that I'm slowly but surely becoming the person that I really want to be. And to do that requires a lot of hard work and a lot of like cognitive thinking, which I'm still struggling with as a TBI patient. The chance that I might fully recover is enough to keep me pushing forward. I didn't mention this in the past video because I just wanted to keep it straight to the thing, but I can't smell. I can't hear out of my left ear because of what happened in the injury. I had a temporal bone fracture. My speech was so bad back then. That was back in November, which is fresh after I got home from the hospital the first time. I literally couldn't talk well. I was stuttering so much and I was getting frustrated with myself because I couldn't elaborate sentences that I really wanted to talk about. But I would just keep stuttering and messing them up, mainly because I was excited to be filming that video, but also because I was just like, my brain just couldn't process it fast enough. And I'm a very fast talker. And it's hard to do that when you can't think of the words you want to say. But like, those are trivial things. I'm alive, I'm here, I'm able to talk to you and tell you what it's been like to go through this. Looking back on it is a blessing in disguise, because I wouldn't have liked who I would grow up to be if I was the person I was before my accident. Because something so traumatic like that is a really good way to give yourself a check. Not that it's necessary at all. Don't get any ideas. They just happen. Traumatic things just happen in life, and rather than sitting here like sulking about it and not being happy to be where you are, that's why I started this merch brand. It's called Go for Merch, and this is the main one I want to push out to people, is you're here for a reason. And you might be wondering, why is it upside down? Like, that makes no sense, but hear me out. It's like if you're ever feeling sad, if you're ever feeling down, if you're feeling unmotivated, and you just look down and it says you're here for a reason, and it's for you to see. It's not for anyone else to see, it's for you to see. And know like, this is what I want to do. And this is also mine. It says be grateful, because you have to be grateful in life, always. Because if you don't celebrate the small wins, you'll never know what to do when you get a big win, like a big brand deal or a big like sponsorship. But if you don't celebrate the small wins, like beating something like that, or going through and like launching your own merch brand, and celebrate that like mentally, not for too long, but give yourself time. But that being said, I have a lot coming up. I can't share most of it with you guys right now, but I'm definitely doubling down on YouTube, like 100%. You guys will be seeing a lot more of these videos, but we're gonna start to pivot a little more into more cinematics, more stuff that I wanna shoot and share with you. And then like a really big single project that's gonna affect not only my life, but thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of kids' lives throughout the country and throughout the world. It has to do with helmets. And I can't tell you much right now, but just know within the next few weeks, there will be a lot of content coming out and a lot of very, very important messages to share with people who you love. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe and give this video a like, because we've got so much coming up and I'm super excited. Before I end this video, I just want to give 368 and B&H a huge shout out for allowing me to use this space and supplying creators with everything they need to make videos like this, to announce things, to give creators an opportunity to be the people they want to be and not worrying about filtering themselves and just allowing them to do what they want to do. So my thing is telling you that you're here for a reason, and don't forget that.